Good evening. At a time when we're all stopping to think about the lives lost on 9/11, the I-Team is looking into livelihoods also disrupted that day.
The government set up disaster loans to help businesses affected by the tragedy get through the months and years ahead. So what happened to all that money? Hagit Lamore joins us now with her report. Hagit?
The Small Business Administration gave special loans to businesses that suffered economic losses after the attacks on the Pentagon and World Trade Center. They added up to millions of dollars to firms in Ohio, Kentucky, and Indiana. We crunched through the data to follow the money back home to the tri-state.
Business is booming at Portico, also known as Catalog Merchandiser, a woodlawn company that makes displays for clients across the country.
We've grown a lot in the last 10 years.
Owner Joe Tartaron says the trade show where his company got almost all its business at the time was set to start in Chicago the day after 9/11.
What kind of impact did that have on your income?
It had a substantial effect. That's where we got a lot of our leads.
With the show now only operating at 30% capacity,
Right.
did you need a cash infusion in order to be able to continue?
Absolutely.
It was a scary time.
Same story from Tilly Lima. Her concierge business, Best Upon Request, went from 65 employees down to 16 after 9/11.
This program that we were expecting to more than double our revenue completely went away.
Disappeared overnight.
Completely.
Both companies applied for and got disaster loans from the Small Business Administration. At a time interest rates hit double digits, these 30-year loans ran a cool 4%. The I-Team got the SBA database detailing who in the tri-state got these loans and how much. The largest amount, $1.5 million, went to CTL Aerospace in Cincinnati. Its vice president declined an interview, but said the airline industry his company services obviously took a big hit after 9/11. He says the loan, now paid off, helped the company avoid layoffs. The same can't be said for many of the companies we tracked through the database. This office in Florence held a travel agency that got $5,000. The co-owner of the herbal shop below says that business is long gone.
They're not there any longer either, and they haven't been there forever.
We're inside an office complex where a company called Leather Care Inc. used to reside. They got $179,000 from Uncle Sam, but as we look here, they're no longer listed as being in this facility. Do you know of a company, Leather Care Inc.? They were listed in this building. Have you ever heard of them?
Never heard of them.
In fact, we couldn't find any information on the 5 companies in northern Kentucky that got SBA loans. Abandoned, like this empty lot that once held a rental car business that got more than $137,000 in disaster loans. We tried to track down the former owners to ask if they paid back those tax dollars, with no success. Keep in mind, census figures show half of all small businesses fail within 5 years of opening. But those that survived say the loans gave them the breathing room to assemble a recovery.
What it allowed us to do is to have the confidence to be able to move forwards because, you know, it's unknowable what could have happened.
That was our safety net, the cash to help us.
Do you think that without this loan, you might have had to lay off more people?
I think we may have needed to close the doors.
Tilly Lima remembers 10 years ago clearly. 5 days before 9/11, she had negotiated another important deal with a CEO who was on the plane that crashed into the Pentagon.
I was paralyzed, and it just was really an impact.
Because it was more than a lost business opportunity.
No, we were friends.
Which has given her perspective as she's grown the company back and beyond to 105 employees.
Our story is a turnaround story of survival and now thriving.
Perhaps a parable for our country, tested in the years since 9/11. By the way, both owners say they paid off their loans early now that they're on their feet and succeeding. Clyde?
Hagit, thanks. The nation